Welcome back to the OG show, where we talk about cars, we talk about what's going on in the car and vehicle world, we review certain YouTubers, we react to what they're doing and their amazing builds, and overall we just talk about cars and our love of cars. So welcome back. This is one of my first streams. I've streamed a couple times so far. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting in a rhythm, I think. It's been a couple of days, but we are back with another reaction stream. And we are in the middle of watching Matt Armstrong rebuild his Lamborghini SVJ. It's an amazing build, an amazing car, very rare, very beautiful. If you don't know who Matt Armstrong is, he is an amazing YouTuber. His channel has over 5 million subscribers. He basically rebuilds crash damaged supercars and hypercars. So, and he does a great job. It's amazing that he's getting these cars back on the road. I love watching the transformation and what he does with them. So that's what we're going to do again today. In the future, we will get on a better format as far as the show. We will start, having segments and things like that, and not just strictly reaction content. But before we start, let me just check and see how the stream is faring at the moment. Make sure it's up and running and you guys can hear me. And everything like that. Let me see here. It says I'm live. Okay, beautiful. Very beautiful. Thank you guys for letting me do that. Just kidding. Yes, it's up and running. We're doing good. We're doing great. Let's get into this video because I know you guys don't need to hear me talking that much right now. But, you'll grow to appreciate it. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I love cars. I do. And I want to do something that I'm passionate about to make a living. So hopefully that's what this will turn into. I have started so many YouTube channels. I've wanted to do this for a long time. And so, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're making content about cars and vehicles and their awesomeness and their amazingness and their sexiness. We don't have to go there immediately. We'll build up to that. No, I'm just kidding. But we do love vehicles on a real note. They are amazing. I love cars so much. I want to get a cool car one day, a supercar. We'll see. Every guy in their right mind has dreams of that, right? And aspirations. But no, just I want to do something I'm passionate about. And I've loved cars my entire life. I've always wanted to be around vehicles, to own cool vehicles, to work on vehicles. I just, I love it. But enough about me. Let's see what Matt Armstrong is up to with this Lamborghini SVJ build. We are in the second video. So let's get started. There it is.
I bought a non-running, crash damage Lamborghini SVJ Roadster. Of course, at a highly discounted price. £1,000. When we got the car back into the workshop, we actually managed to get it running and driving. But it doesn't quite run right.
That was a really cool moment. to see that car start up. I wasn't sure if it would happen. He wasn't sure if it would happen. It does not look like it would run. Like if you saw that car right now, the way it looks, body panels are off. There's like wires hanging places. Like it's hard to believe this car is running and driving. As he's saying, there is still problems with it. Obviously, it's not running quite right, but it's just very cool that he actually got it to run before too long. So yeah.
And it doesn't really let me rev it. So today, we're gonna fix it.
Nice.
Now this SVJ looks like it's lived a hard life. It's extremely dusty, and a lot of the underside was covered in rust, corrosion, and in some places, mould. So before we continue building this car, we dropped it off to the ice blasters, where they blast the car with dry ice, which pretty much freezes the dirt on it and then blasts it off in the next shot. This should get the whole car looking back to how it should. But whilst the guys were doing it, they stumbled across another problem.
Oh no. That ain't just a leak. That's a torrent of fluids. That's a river of fluids. Son of a gun. By the way, it's like so satisfying to me when I see something getting cleaned. Like when I pressure wash my disgusting dirty car. Or something to that effect. Or pressure wash the side of a brick building. I just love it. I like when things are clean.
It's got a bit of an issue. So Dad's had to come and have a look, see if we can fix it. Wow, look at that.
That's mad.
It's like new.
That's crazy, Alan. Not new.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That looks.
That is.
Now the part that's leaking the green fluid looks like it was coming from the same place which we repaired before.
See where it's clean.
Oh, on the
So
other
we haven't
side.
blasted up there because of the leak.
Now this is at the front of the gearbox, and all of these things are the solenoids which are used to change the gear in the car.
So before, it was this one. It was this solenoid here, Toby.
Yeah.
That was the one that was damaged. But there is another one up there.
And it looks like it's the other one on the other side which is leaking now. And if all the fluid leaks out, we won't be able to start the car because it won't go in neutral. Now we figured out in the last video that the damage was caused from an impact underneath, and the gearbox mount you can see is cracked, which is then pushed up into one of the solenoids, causing it just to lift away from the pump and then leak the fluid out. But it looked like it not only did damage to one solenoid, it's also done it to the other side.
That bit there's bent off. But what we're going to do, we're going to make that one look like that one.
You can see the surface on this solenoid isn't flat.
Maybe put a thicker washer in there. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe like a metal a big washer. Metal washer to kind of keep that tight in there. And then another rubber washer, but I don't know if it has to be perfectly fitted. I don't know, just an idea.
And if it's not flat, then the seal isn't going to do its job and it's going to lose all of its oil. So my dad got his favourite tool out to try and knock the seat of the solenoid back to its flat position. Then he can install.
I love that. That's hilarious. Sometimes all you need is a hammer, all right? Sometimes all you need is a butter knife, okay? It's useful for so many things. Stay with me here. We got a screwdriver, right? Flathead screwdriver. Butter knife. We want to cut some weeds outside. Butter knife. Okay. We want to butter our toast. Obviously, butter knife. What else? We want to decorate a cake. Butter knife. Okay. We want to scrape grease off our engines. Butter knife. We want to cut film for our window tinting. No, that's gone too far. That's going too far. But the point stands. Butter knives are very useful. Okay? Very useful.
it back into the gearbox just like
And
we did
hammers as
before. And once that's all in, he can refill the hydraulic system with the mineral oil until it starts coming out again, and then it should be good to go.
It's all working.
It's all good.
Yeah.
No more leaks. For now, anyway.
Okay, that's done. Let's get the car back to the unit.
Suzanne, the SVJ is back from the Ice Blasters and it looks brand new, as it should, and it's literally looks so good underneath, on top, in the engine bay especially, but it has made me notice something which could be a bit of a problem. These SVJs have a carbon tub. The part that you actually sit in is made out of carbon, which is really rigid and strong. But the part which holds the engine is made out of aluminium. It's a full aluminium frame bolted to the carbon tub. Now we know we had a little bit of damage to the frame in the last video, which actually Bob was able to cut out and re-weld in an aluminium piece to make it look exactly the same as factory. But we think we have some more damage at the top of the frame now. Right here.
I see it. Look at that. It looks a little twisted and bent. That's not good. That's going to throw things off. Like, that's going to throw alignment off. That's going to throw... well, mostly alignment, right? And body panels, too, when you go to replace them. That's... yeah, you got to fix that. That's a problem. Sucks.
You can see it's sort of squashed up. It's bulged up, which would mean that there's been some kind of force,
yeah.
Well, it's been some kind of force going in that direction. And this bulge means we could have some serious twists in the chassis.
Yeah.
This is where the majority
Yikes.
of the damage was. So potentially, I think something has pushed it that way, which is not good. And there's a few ways to sort of figure out whether something is bent or broken. And we're gonna have to do that. And the first step really is to unbolt this X brace and see if everything kind of pings back to where it should, because that brace has definitely moved. Now, best case scenario here is I remove the bolts for this X brace and then the frame moves back. And if we try to put the bolts back in for the X brace, the holes won't line up. And luckily, that seems to be the case. You can see the bolt holes are just out of line now. The holes do not line up with the chassis, which we...
I love that. That's a beautiful, simple fix right there. You don't get crazy. You don't start crying and be like, oh, I have to take the whole back frame off, take the engine out, blah blah blah. No, what's the simplest thing we can do? We'll start with that and move harder, right? I love that. That's awesome, and I'm happy for him that this seems to be working.
Say to me that the chassis moved that way, the brace is squashed up, but as soon as I've unbolted it, the chassis moved back, because now the bolt hole doesn't line up there and just nearly lines up there. I would find it weird if the chassis had moved and stayed where it was, because I can't see any other visual damage. Even these braces down here, there's no damage to them at all. So I think that brace has actually done a really good job, because without it, it could have pushed the chassis all the way over. It's damaged, now we need to replace it. But I guess the best way to find out is to buy a new X brace and then see if it all lines up with the bolt holes. But now I'm removing the old one, and the way we can measure the chassis now is with this tram gauge. This gauge will go on a fixed point on the back left and a fixed point on the top right of the chassis. We'll then lock the tram gauge in place so it's at a certain measurement, and then measure crossways, and it should give us the same reading. On that bolt,
it should be the exact same.
Right. Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look. In. Look at that. In, look at that, and then do a switch whilst we're live, and switch it. Look, in. Boom! In. That's good news. That is actually good news, because the chassis hasn't moved, so when we buy a new cross brace, it should just go straight in. Extremely good news. It means we don't have to remove the engine to replace that whole rear frame. One problem out the way. Now let's get on to the next one. So the reason the car is not running right and I can't rev it is because the exhaust doesn't have any of the lambda sensors in it, and that measures the fuel air mixture coming out of the combustion chamber, so it doesn't really have a clue what it's doing. And the only reason we can suss out why there's no lambda sensors there is because there must have been an aftermarket exhaust on it, and before it's gone to the insurance, I think they've pulled off the exhaust, put the standard one back in, and not plugged anything in. We've got a solution, and it is almost illegal to put back on a standard exhaust on an SVJ. So first thing, let's get the standard exhaust off. So the goal is to get this SVJ running the way it should. And as it looks like this exhaust has just been thrown on, it's probably best for us just to start from scratch so we know exactly what's missing from the exhaust and from the engine bay. We've now...
I agree. Get a new exhaust, man. You kind of have to get a new exhaust, right? You have to. You don't know if this one works or not. Like, you don't know if the exhaust will go through this thing or not. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Now undone the bolts holding the back box to the front pipes. Yay! Then me and Liam can remove the back box, which is a big old thing, which is muffling a lot of sound as well. And now that that's out the way, we can access both front pipes. Standard exhaust is off, and it is the standard exhaust. There's no aftermarket exhaust on that. It is wham. There's loads of bolts missing out of it. And speaking of bolts missing out of things, we had a problem with the front pipes. Liam, what's happened here?
So we've just took the top one off. Yeah. And what should happen now is you've got to undo the bottom one.
Which is hard to get to.
Which is hard to get to.
Yeah.
But...
oh, Susie.
There wasn't even one on the bottom one.
No. I can see why they haven't put one on the bottom.
Zoom in.
Oh, it is there. It's there. Wait. The clamp was actually there, but whoever thrown this exhaust back on, I guess, couldn't be bothered to try and put the bolt in. It made our job easier.
Easy.
Yeah. Let's undo that side. And on the left side of the car, we've undone the top V-band clamp to remove the bolt. And once that was removed, it wasn't a surprise that the bottom one wasn't done up either. Yeah, boy. So those front pipes come out nice and easy, along with the standard back box. Stock exhaust is off, but we don't think it's a stock exhaust. We think these are sports cats because they seem way too small. And luckily as well, so the lambda sensors, they've actually marked them 1, 3, 4,
nice.
And 2.
Nice, very good. I'm a fan of marking things to make sure that things go in the proper order. I mean, eventually he would probably figure it out, and you could look it up and YouTube it, ChatGPT it, but it's just smoother when that is already done for you. You know what I'm saying?
And that would actually match up to these plugs here, which are labelled by Lamborghini 1, 3, 4 and 2.
Nice,
so
nice.
Hopefully, if we're trusting what they did, this should go in the right place. And we've just done it,
By the way, I love his shop. Like, oh my God, the thing is beautiful. This is a dream. This is a dream of mine. Look at this shop, man. He's got like 3 car lifts, at least 2 car lifts. Loads of toolboxes lined up along the whole wall. This shop is huge. This is it's so beautiful. God, man, I wish I had something like this.
marked on the same on the other side, so hopefully that works.
One day, maybe.
Before we show you the new exhaust, we want to be children. I want to see what it sounds like with no exhaust on at all. V12 screaming out the back.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think you're going to start it. I don't know if it'll rev. Only a little. Oh, it stinks. Oh my days. Oh my days. The heat that come off the back of that. So it won't let us rev it because of the no lambda sensor issues. That was loud.
That was really loud.
That was insanely loud. Now we need to turn that loudness into a pitch.
I need to hear something like that in person. You know what I mean? Like that would soothe my soul. Okay? I don't need a therapy session. I need an exhaust session. That sounds a little weird, but you know what I mean. That is a beautiful note. That V12 is just, oh my goodness, it's great. Although at some point it's like it's too loud, right? To where like you can't even hear it because you're covering your ears. So you got to find a balance with things. Same thing, but that would be awesome to hear in person.
Which we've got a solution for. This is a necessary requirement for a Lamborghini SVJ. This is why the SVJ has the soul. A full straight pipe system from Valvetronic. We've got the front pipes, and then we've got the rear silencer, which is just pure titanium. Like that has got no weight to it at all.
That is not silencing anything.
No, and I've learned, do you know why titanium exhausts are louder than steel's exhausts?
No.
No.
Because the titanium is more rigid, so it doesn't absorb the sound
waves
as much. So because it's like a harder metal, it vibrates more, which makes more noise. The only thing is they're really brittle, so yeah, you just don't want to hit them or anything. And then on top of that, the absolute bad boy
You
gold.
can fit the camera in there.
I know, that is, look at that. That passes the arm test, and these are going to go on the bumper over here. We're going to need a new bumper because this one's broken, but we've got gold tips which are going to shoot flames out.
That's going to look sick.
That's going to look crazy.
So cool.
So let's start with the front pipes. And we're going to need some Lambda sensors. There's 2 sensors which go before the cat and 2 afterwards. The first sensor is to tell the ECU how well the car's burning the fuel. And the second sensor tells the ECU how well the catalytic converter's working. And then the ECU can adjust the fuel air intake to make it perfect. So we're hoping once we install these, it will take the car out of limp mode and we'll actually be able to rev it. Now there's 8 sensors altogether, and these aren't cheap from Lamborghini. £184.69 each for the front, and then for the rear ones, £82.94. But it's Bosch.
You know what though? That's actually not that, like, I thought it would be more. Because like an O2 sensor for my black Hyundai, like it's, I think I got 2 of them for like $300. So it's like $150. Yeah, so I don't know. I think those are pretty, you know, relatively, those are not bad. Okay? Don't get mad at me now. I'm just saying.
That make these Lambda sensors, and if you cross-reference the part number, you can find the front ones for £81 and the rear ones for £86 if you don't buy them from Lamborghini. Nice way of saving a bit of money without compromising the quality because they're exactly the same. Once the Lambda sensors are in the front pipes, me and Liam can guide them back into place. On the left side, I had to dismantle a fair bit just to get it into the right position, and I can see why now the guys who put the stock exhaust on left a few bolts out because it was quite fiddly. But eventually the front pipes were all in. Whilst we're at the back of the car, probably a good time to change some of the oil cooler brackets because these are all bent and twisted and there's not much we can do about that. Unfortunately, there's no cheat code or hack for finding cheaper oil cooler brackets. These are made specifically for the Aventador. In with the new from Lamborghini. And this bracket was £58. And it was hard for us to even find a second-hand one. So we had to buy new. Right, that pipe is definitely bent because it's stopping me from turning this that way. And it looks like I'm going to need a top oil cooler pipe as well. But let's get back to the exhaust. Now I'm taking off the exhaust hangers of the stock exhaust and putting them onto the Valvetronic. There's 2 hangers on the top of it and 2 hangers on the bottom. And that is almost ready to go on. Last part is the heat shielding. It's an ugly old thing, but we don't want to be setting fire to the back of the car or causing any unnecessary heat soak in the engine. On go the V-band clamps on the front pipes, ready for the new exhaust. The Valvetronic is going on, and then me and my dad are going to guide the Valvetronic into place, tighten up all the hangers and the V-band clamps, bolt the heat shield up, and that is all in. Okay, exhaust and everything's plugged in. That should stop us from being in limp mode. It should be able to allow us to rev it. What we want to do now is, because we're going to be revving it and seeing if it actually works, I want to make sure the correct oil's in it. But to check the oil on these V12s, you've got to warm up the car and then dip the oil in. But just to be safe, and because we don't know when the last service was on this car, we're just going to drain all the oil that's in it and refill it with the correct amount of oil, change the oil filter, then we're 100% sure.
Smart, right? Smart. Like, you don't know how long that oil's been sitting. You don't know how long ago it was serviced, if the previous owner drove it for a fair bit before changing the oil. Like, you know, you just don't know these things. It's always smart when it comes to this to just change the oil. I mean, I know this oil is probably really expensive. Probably a lot of oil goes into this car, but it's smart. Like, that's just one of the things you got to do, is change the oil, completely replace it, right? Don't just add oil. I agree with that.
Or that it's got fresh oil in it, we're not going to damage anything. So next step, let's get this oil out. Up goes the SVJ. And this isn't like your regular car for dropping the oil. First, I'm removing the bung for the oil tank at the back of the car. After that, there's one sump bung, another sump bung,
Wow.
another sump bung, and one more sump bung.
Is that 5?
That's because this car has a baffled sump, almost like dividers in the bottom of it. This is to stop oil starvation when going around corners fast on track. If all the oil sloshes to one side, then the oil pickup pipe might struggle to pick any up, but the baffles prevent that happening. Next step, the oil filter.
Oh!
Right,
It's impossible.
13 litres of...
It's impossible not to get oil on your hands when you're changing an oil filter. It's just going to happen. Like, show me someone who does not get any oil at all on their hands when taking out an oil filter, and I will say that they're a genius. Okay? I can't go any further than that.
Valvoline oil and a genuine Lamborghini oil filter. It's made by UFI Filters, the same as the Murcielago, and they must have a deal with Lamborghini, and you'll see later on in the video how loads of other brands have deals with Lamborghini. If you go to UFI and try and order an oil filter, they won't give you it because they're patent to Lamborghini, so they must have a deal where they only sell to Lamborghini, so you have to buy it from there. Let's pre-fill the oil filter so it doesn't have to crank to fill up with oil. In goes the Valvoline oil into the oil filter, and then we're going to just smear a little bit of the oil around the seal just to stop it from grabbing when we're twisting it into the bottom of the engine. And in that goes, along with all of the sump bungs at the bottom. Tighten them up, and then we can bring the SVJ back down. 13 litres of Valvoline oil.
Do you want me to put it in the wrong hole?
Hannah eventually found the right hole to put the oil in, and in goes 13 litres of it. Job done. Before we start this and hear this exhaust for the first time, because it's going to bring this building down, I think, we need to clear the fault codes on the dash to make sure that all the fault codes are clear. But because I don't want any battery related fault codes, we're going to switch the battery over first as well. Then, let's get the start up. Let's get the new battery on. Out with the old battery and in with the new one. Yeah, apparently.
Exactly like
they need
this.
2 technicians to fit a battery. Yeah. Hannah decided that she'd like to fit the battery instead, but she was a little nervous. Bang! But eventually, the new battery was in place and we were ready to go. New battery, fitted, clear the fault codes, start the car. In fact, we might not need to clear the fault codes because we disconnected the battery. We ready to start it?
Send it.
This is going to be an orchestra. This is what SVJs are about.
I'm excited.
Ready?
What, are you ready? Are you ready?
Everyone's ready.
Even though this car's still in pieces, this is one of the moments I've been waiting for the most. The sound of the exhaust.
Yes, of course. This is a very exciting moment. I'm very excited. I want him to rev it. I want him to rev it a lot. Or his girlfriend, but not too much. It's also nice he's letting his girlfriend start this. I don't know if I could bring myself to do this, But good on him. He's a good guy.
Okay, just put the ignition on to start with. Okay. There's still a lot of faults we need to get through, but hopefully now it's out of limp mode. Come on! Yeah?
That was dramatized. I didn't jump. My jump was dramatized, okay? Trust me.
Hannah, see if it'll rev a bit. Whoa! It's a bit smoky. I think he's burning off a lot of the oils on the exhaust. Do it again, do it again! It's been flames! Oh my!
That is awesome. If someone says that is not awesome, like, who even are you? Are you a real human? Are you a robot? Do you not appreciate beauty and power? Don't even get me started.
Oh my God! Come and have a look at this!
Yes!
Oh my God, Valvetronic exhaust, everyone. That was absolutely insane.
I think round of applause.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
worth it.
What do you think, Hannah?
So cool.
Yeah?
That's my favourite.
That was worth every penny.
Yes,
Even
yes,
Kevin was jumping for joy for that. How can anybody want to buy an electric car? That was insane.
Yes! Dude, we could be friends. Screw electric cars, man. Seriously, dang. Get them out of here. We don't need them. They were created for people that view driving as a chore. Okay, I didn't come up with that. Someone else said that before me, but it's true. Electric cars are nothing but a... How do I put this? They are not for feeling exhilarated or for feeling fun. I mean, yeah, they go fast, but you don't feel the power. You don't feel the sound, right? You don't feel the vibrations. You wouldn't understand. If you like electric cars, you wouldn't understand. Because if you like electric cars, you're not really a car guy. You know what I'm saying? You're just not. It's basically something that you do not enjoy, you do not like. It gets you from point A to point B. That's all cars are for you. But cars like this and people like this, we appreciate the raw, natural, not natural, raw, visceral, powerful explosions of a naturally aspirated engine, okay? That will never get old, ever.
Same. Let's carry on building the SVJ, because at the end of this video we hopefully are going to be able to drive it in some kind of state. That was insane. Let's go. We're going to start at the back, and the one thing that we missed out in the last video is this handbrake caliper. This is the handbrake caliper. That's a normal brake caliper, but in order for the handbrake to actually squash on to the disc, you need a motor on the back. And the motor looks like this from the accident. From Lamborghini, £274 just for that little motor there. Off eBay, £19.
What?
95p. But there is a small difference, and we're just hoping that that small difference doesn't matter. Here's our issue. Yeah, it's gonna be a... So look, you see the plugs are in different areas. Like the actual thing is fine, but the plugs are in different areas. But there's only one way to find out whether this is actually gonna work. plug it in, give it a try. Right, I'm going to press the handbrake and you'll see.
But we want to know if that spins. Is that the
Yeah, we'll see if it works first. Let's see if it works first. You hold it, I'll press the handbrake.
Yeah, it's spinning. Yeah.
There's a chance it'll work. There is a chance it could be doing the wrong thing, but we can test that. Now there's only 2 terminals on the plug, and if those terminals are the wrong way round, then the motor might be spinning the opposite to what I'm pressing in the car.
That's true.
And if it is, we've got to switch
Well,
them round.
as long as
right,
it's-
that's connected. Let's see if it's working the right way round.
Yeah, as long as it's
I'll
going
put the handbrake on.
clockwise, it should work, right?
It
Yes.
seems to work.
Yeah, that's on. That's on.
And off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's off. Yeah, it's off.
That's one problem solved. Again, saving us a bit of cash. Time to get
Very
underneath. Here, across here, should be a mount. It used to be like this. But in the accident, or a forklift, we don't know yet, something has pushed that up.
Okay, so remember what I was saying in the first stream about this? I don't know if I would want them to lift my car with a forklift. Okay, I know it's extra work to find another way to lift it, to put it on the truck, but forklifts can damage stuff, especially if you have a forklift driver that does not give a damn about the car, right? Because it's trash anyways to them, right? To some of them. So just saying, it's just a little rant that I had in the first stream. I don't know if I would appreciate my car being lifted by a forklift. And if it had to be lifted by a forklift, I would want it to be done very slow, very, very carefully. Very carefully. I would want the forklift driver to show an insane amount of respect, care, and love for my car. Okay?
And that's what caused our gearbox issues in the last video. So this is fully broke. Unfortunately, we can't cross-reference this onto any other car because it's only the SVJ that has a gearbox going forward, whereas all like the Hurricanes, the R8s and everything has the gearbox going backwards. So we've got a new one here from Lamborghini. Now this mount was pretty expensive, £1,455. But again, we had no choice. And I don't expect anything less from Lamborghini. Once I've got the bushing out, I put a bit of rubber grease around it and slide the bush into the mount, and then we can bolt it back onto the gearbox, not forgetting the ground wire which went over the top of it, and then there's 4 bolts which hold the mount to the carbon fibre tub. Sweet. Next step, we're carrying on with the rear. We've got the broken frame at the back here, which is just broke there. We've got a new one. There's a few brackets we've got to take off this to fit on that, and then that can go on along with the lower crash bar. Let's go. Again, another part of the car that we can't really cheap out on. £1,800 for this new frame, but it does mount the rear lights and the rear spoiler, and we're gonna need it. Once that frame's in, me and Liam could then guide the crash bar in, which didn't have any damage to it at all. Then we can move to the front of the car. Now we're going to the front. We've got a load of broken bars, and one of the broken bars is this. This is, it's not been hit from the front, and that's why it's squashed in. It's been hit from the top. The wing was actually smashed in that way. So we've got to replace this bar. Then luckily this unbolts from the carbon tub up here. Let's get this bar off, and then we can start fixing everything else around this area. As I showed previously, the front frame and the rear frame of the car both unbolt from the carbon tub. And it's no different for this part here, which I have ordered, but it hasn't arrived just yet. Prime bit of Lamborghini engineering.
Guys, it's amazing how strong that carbon fiber tub is. Like, I can't even comprehend it. It's holding 2 metal frames, aluminum, whatever, with an engine, with suspension, with everything. It's holding them by some bolts that are bolted into the carbon tub. Like, and you're going to go at high rates of speed. You're going to go around corners. Like, this is going to be a lot of gravity involved here. A lot of, what's the word? A lot of forces, right? Centrifugal force or whatever, that are working in this car. Down, right? Down force. You got side to side. You got everything. And that carbon fiber tub holds up, man. That's amazing. So amazing, the engineering and the materials that we can find out there nowadays.
But now that the bar's off, it's given us a chance to fix some other parts on the front, like this brake cooling duct, which is all broken up. Boom! And it looks like we're going to have to steal the bracket off it because the new one didn't come with it. Again, another pretty expensive part from Lamborghini at £606. But where else are we going to get one of these from? Once we've riveted the bracket on, we can slide the duct back into place and bolt it back onto the chassis leg. Now there were some parts which we were able to fix, and we sent them over to Bob at the machine shop, where he was able to clean them up and re-weld part of the tabs back on which have snapped off, and even powder coated them as well for us to make them look nice and clean.
Beautiful.
Spot on.
And here is the bracket that Bob replaced. Thanks, Bob, at the machine shop. It's nicely powder coated as well. Actually looks better than Lamborghini. Now we can fit the bracket to the front chassis leg and it lines up perfectly. And this bracket actually holds the horn and the headlight, which we'll get onto. We wanted to see how big the flames actually get once it warmed up. What's it?
So cool. So cool. Oh my god.
Oh my god! That's so loud.
That's mental.
That's mental.
It's definitely
With stuff like this, you can't help but smile. You just can't help it. It makes you happy. The serotonin and the dopamine is just flowing. You know what I'm saying? It's flowing freely.
you're going to be deaf before he gets to 60.
A lot of the stuff we're still waiting for at the front, that's going to be here in a minute, but we have an issue with this door, and this door, the window's always been down, but it's gone up, and we think the window goes up, but for now, because the window doesn't go down, I can't open the door, so it's getting stuck there. Check the fuses, they're fine. Press the window switch in there, that doesn't do anything. I can press it, doesn't do anything with the ignition on. I can hear it trying to go up, but it won't go down. I've read the fault codes. I've got nothing regarding the door, so the car actually thinks it's fine, so it's not like something's unplugged. The only thing I can think is that the motor in the window is broken or it's got damp or something, and because we can't lift the door open, we can't get the door card off from inside to have a look at the window. So we're thinking if we undo this hinge a bit to lower it down, lower the door down, it might come out, but let's give that a try. So there's 4 bolts holding the door hinge to the carbon chassis of the car. My dad's undoing these now, and then I was able to slide the door away so the window didn't catch on the seal. With the door out the way, we can now lift it up as if it was open, and then my dad was going to put back in the bolts which hold the hinge to the carbon tub. Now we can access the inner door panel. To get this off, I'm removing this speaker cover, and there's 1 bolt there. I've got to undo that.
I bet those doors are like 10 pounds each, if that. Like, they are super light, I'm sure. Maybe not 10 pounds, maybe a little bit more, but still, maybe 20. Like, they're carbon fiber, right? I think they're all carbon fiber, the door cards and everything. The outside's aluminum, so yeah, that makes sense.
And then remove this little puddle light, and there's 1 bolt holding it in there. And that's literally it. The door panel will come off. That is the lightest door panel ever. And I bet it's probably one of the most expensive door panels ever.
Yeah.
£5,869 worth of door panel.
Dang!
Right, here's the actual window motor here. Right, next step, let's put the multimeter in there and see if there's actually any power going to the motor. Yeah. But there wasn't anything. Absolutely nothing. Oh, that one ain't even working now either. We figured we may need the door card plugged in for everything to work. I don't know why that's the case, but we're not going to question Lamborghini. Click in. Yeah.
That one works for me.
So everything's got to be plugged in
For the windows to work. So with the door card plugged in, we unplugged the motor to see if there was any power going to it, but there was none still. Nothing. So the motor might be fine, but there's no power going to it. Is the signal not coming out of the door control module to tell the window to go down? I decided to disconnect the motor from the window regulator, then we could see if we could send power to it ourselves. That way we'd know if it actually works. And when we got it off, it did work. Okay, so it goes one way. Power was going to it. It won't go the other. But it wouldn't go down by itself. So either switch is bad, or the computer in there is bad. Because the motor's fine, but the only way to know is if I take that switch and put it on that side. I think we might have to do that. But after a while of being really careful, trying not to break the switch panel out of the center console, we actually found out that the switch panel was one complete unit with only one plug. So it's not actually possible to switch over the window switches. So we had to go to plan B, and that was to dismantle the driver's side door. So we think this computer controls the window and the door. It's the same on the other side. Well, it's not the same on the other side. There is a left-hand side and right-hand side one, but we're going to switch them and see if that makes this window go up and down. Hopefully it works. Let's take this one off. This door module here controls everything in the door. We're removing the passenger side and was going to switch it with the driver's side one. Mine's got, but they were slightly different. That on the top right, and yours has got it on the bottom right. But there was no harm in trying. I'm plugging everything in now, from the driver's side door into the passenger side door, and then plugging the passenger side in the driver's door to make a full circuit. Okay, that side, nothing. This side, also nothing. But neither of it worked. So that side doesn't work on that side, and that side doesn't work on that side. So what's the fix? We still don't know. We know the motor's good because it spins. This could be the issue.
That little bugger.
But we don't know. I still think the problem is with this computer. The switch works going up but not down, which seems strange to me. Why would the switch just break in the downward position? And the motor goes up but not down. And I've never seen a motor only work one way and not the other. So surely it's the module. Money's on that it's this. Why this is broken, I don't know. Maybe just Lamborghini. I've ordered one, £58. We'll find out later whether that was the issue. For now, there's even more things to fix that we've got to get cracking on with. Let's go. Most of this car is going to paint, and eventually we will be changing the colour. But a good thing about the SVJ is that all the panels can remove and go to the body shop separately. We don't actually have to drop the full car to them. So what I'm doing now is removing the side skirts, some body panels.
I love that. I love that.
And then going over to the driver's side, which was undamaged, and removing the rear quarter panel, side skirts, and everything else that needs to be painted. And that leaves the bare skeleton of the car. This is ready for paint now. Let's move on to the back. There's a breather pipe here which seems to have melted, so I've had to buy a new one. If we didn't fix this, then it'd also flag an engine warning light on the dashboard.
Melted.
So out with the old and in with the new. A nice easy fix there. Boom. New wing mirror, because the old one is not here. I assume it only got yeasted off in the crash and don't know where it got put. But I bought one which was, I just put in the part number, which looks like it's come off like a Passat or something like that. But it looks like it's not a dimmable mirror. This wire here, when you plug this wire in, it looks like you got that auto dim maybe. I don't know if that's going to affect it or not, and I'm not that bothered about it because, like, how often do you look in the mirror?
I mean, maybe a lot. Who knows? Someone might look in there a lot.
Oh yes, we've got a mirror. Back to the front of the car, and here's the crash bar, and an expensive crash bar at that. And the good news is it lines up with the front chassis legs, so nothing's bent there. Here we go. And here's another part of the frame. We managed to get this a little bit cheaper, but there was a bolt snapped into it, so we had to drill the bolt out and then put in another rib nut. Not too much of a problem, but it saved a fair bit of cash buying a new one from Lamborghini. So it's out with the old one and in with the new bar. Again, we're hoping that this lines up straight with the chassis, proving again that nothing's bent on the front. What was next?
Nice.
And we're back on with the door. Now, at the minute, the door won't close because the window is stuck up and we've had to move the door out so we can actually get it up. We're hoping that it is this computer. It was a bit of a guess, to be honest, though. So we've ordered one. It was £50 for a genuine one. We tried to swap the one out the right side into the left side. That didn't work because they're different for each side. This is the moment of truth now, whether this is gonna work or we've got a more serious problem, which, if it ain't this, the only other thing I can see it being is the switch. But it seems weird that the switch would go up but not down.
Yeah.
Here we go. Out for the motor, out for the plug, out for that plug, in with the motor plug, in with the motor plug, and it needed the door card on for everything to work.
Okay.
Come on, window, come on, it's got to work. In. Right, we know that motor goes up. We want to see if it goes down. Up. Please go down. Yes! Come on! So it was this computer all along. Why that computer has failed, and the only thing that's failed on that computer is the window going down, is a mystery.
It's preposterous.
So now I can put the motor back into the window regulator, and this door should now work how it should. This is a thing with buying crash damaged cars. Sometimes you're fixing the problems from the crash, and then you're also having to fix problems that the car already had before the crash.
True.
And this might have been one of them. But now that that door card's on, we're getting through these problems. And the actual frame of the car is nearly there. I'm now lining the door back up, and Matt's tightening up the hinge, and we're gonna test it. Any good?
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah! Get in! One working passenger door. Over here is a bit carnage. Everything has been coming just in dribs and drabs from Lamborghini. Whatever they've had, it's come, and whatever hasn't come has not come. Whatever we're getting second hand is coming in dribs and drabs and all over the place. But one thing which is absolutely hilarious, out of all of this, which has all come from Lamborghini, you can see all the packaging is Lamborghini. This is the most funny thing of all. Right here is the engine cover, or the boot lid, for the SVJ. And the way you sort of unhatch it, you sort of latch them up like a race car, and then you lift that up and it releases, and then to lock it down, you push it down like that. Now, for some reason on this side, I don't know if it's happened in the accident, I don't know, but this is all broken off. So I thought, well, we need a new one, and the only place we're gonna get one from is Lamborghini, because I imagine these are special size for the SVJ. So these were extortionate. Over £700 for this, and they arrived. Look, here's the part number, so for you guys to check out yourself. Here's the part number from Lamborghini, and when they arrived, we opened them up to find this. Not even joking. They've come from a different manufacturer, which is made in the UK, and Lamborghini haven't even bothered to remove the packaging. It even says aerocatch.com. And inside here, like, these are going back, by the way, so inside here are the catches. Look, you get the keys, you get everything, and that's what we need to replace that. But over £700 for these, and then I'm thinking, well, how much are they directly from aerocatch.com? And can I just put the part
Let me guess, $10 or £10.
number in? So I went on aerocatch.com, found them on aerocatch.com for £70. And this is what's arrived. So from £70.
A big difference. 700 to 70. That's insane.
Oh my god, it's exactly the same! Look at that! It's the same thing! It's exactly the same.
That's awesome.
£700 from Lamborghini, £70 directly from the people that make them from Lamborghini. Lamborghini didn't even bother to take their branding off. Insane. Cheeky Lamborghini, but I don't expect nothing less. Few more things to fix now before finally getting this car driving. and one of them is this wonky oil cooler. To get it straight, we need a new oil cooler pipe because that's what's holding it in this position. I'm going to unbolt the 2 bolts holding one section of the oil cooler pipe to the other section of it, and we shouldn't lose too much oil because this pipe is pretty high up. That's the bent pipe removed from the cooler, and now it should allow me to put the cooler into the bracket which we fitted earlier. And it does. It lines up nice there.
Beautiful.
Just put a little bit of sealer on there, although there is an oil seal on there, so we should be okay. Now I've got to guide the new oil cooler pipe into place, tighten those 2 bolts up so it fits snug against the other part of the pipe, and then bolt it to the cooler. And finally, the scoop-de-whoop, which goes in. This air guide simply just bolts to the cooler with 4 bolts. And once that's on, the oil cooler is no longer wonky.
Nice. Guys, I think that's a good stopping point. We will finish this video in another stream. I do not have much time to do these streams at the end of the day after work, but I love this stuff. This stuff is so fun. So fun. This stuff is amazing. Like, I seriously just enjoy all this stuff, and it makes me want to do similar things, right? It makes me want to work on my cars and stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have 700 pounds for some latches or dollars. I don't have that type of money, but you know, I could start small, right? Start small. I could do stuff on my little black Hyundai, my motorcycle, you know, just get in the process of working things out. Hey, maybe I buy a crash damaged motorcycle. Have you ever thought about that? I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if that's cost effective. I really don't, because used motorcycles without crash damage are usually pretty cheap anyways. So, but either way, I like the idea, right, of working on vehicles, restoring these vehicles back to the road, to working condition. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Yes, so the OG show will continue. We will keep going. We are going to try and get a format, try and get some segments going, you know, and build this thing slowly but surely. Just like Matt Armstrong is with this car. So we will be back. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will continue. Drop a comment, drop a follow, drop a subscribe, a like, whatever. We will continue going. We love cars, right? And we know there are more people out there that love cars, because how could there not be? Cars are amazing. Cars are beautiful. They just are. And I'll never stop saying that, okay? I'm never going to get sick of them. But anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next show. So look forward to that. Peace out.